Hi and welcome to a new PluginGuru video. My name is John Skippy Limcool. Welcome. Hey, I have a free little starter library to give you guys today. I've thought about this video for quite a while, and I've worked really hard to try to make it as straightforward and clear as possible. This is to help you get your samples into Unify. And I've made videos and explained the process, but I know how quick eyes glass over. So instead, I'm going to give you a library with everything done so that you can just start plugging your own sounds in and start working with it. It's actually really easy once you get things going. So this video is sponsored by my website, PluginGuru.com. We're at the very tail end of the 2023 Black Friday, Cyber Monday, insanity, all that kind of stuff. So the sale prices you see, those are probably gone by the time you see this. If not, hurry up because they go away Tuesday night, the 27th. I have 90 libraries for all sorts of plugins. Give them new sounds. They're reborn. They're so happy to see you when you come home from work. And they really will take on new personalities when you feed them quality patches. And we make quality patches. You buy one library from me, and I guarantee you are a customer for life. And if not, I offer money back guarantee on everything. You can send a note and say, that didn't work for me. We'll send you your money back. I don't care when. I've only done this maybe 10 times since 2009, but I stand behind my libraries 100%. Absolutely. So come to PluginGuru if you need anything, and we'll set you up. So as I said, this is a starter library. The idea being this: if you say, right-click on this patch and say reveal in the Finder, you have over here a very simple, basic single patch with a single 96 by 96 pixel image, because that's what shows up inside of Unify for the artwork for the library. It can be a JPEG or a PNG file. If you right-click here, let's go to the sample starter folder. This is the samples folder, and this is what messes everybody up. It's a little bit confusing that you have to have this hierarchy of a folder inside of the samples folder, and the name of that is what's going to show up inside a GuruSampler. See how it says my sample library? That's because there is a folder right here. Hi, thank you. That says my sample library. Now, I only have one folder. There's two ways to do the categories for this. I typically, for the libraries, do just one folder, and then it's big content. But sometimes it's easier. You might want to have it where you have like drums. You might want to have another one where you have, say, basses, right? Another one where you have keys. Another one where you have synth. If we go over here to Unify and we open GuruSampler now, when I click here, I have all these different folder directories that I have made, that if there's an SFZ file in there, when I select this and click here, it will give me those selections. There's nothing in there. The only one that has is my sample library, and it just has Planetarium. And the reason it has this file to select is because there is what we call an SFZ. That's the standard that we use for the mapping right here. And the sample happens to be right here next to it. If you self-contain a library and put the samples inside of here, then this is a self-contained library you can send to anybody else and it will work. It's how I build the libraries that we sell at the website. But the samples can actually reside anywhere, but the SFZ files, these have to be saved into the folders inside of the samples folder inside of this library. And that way they show up, you can select it, it goes, hey, give me these samples from wherever they are on your computer. Don't move your samples after you make SFZ files, because this is looking at absolute paths for where the samples are. Okay, so I'm going to show you a couple things really quickly. I'm going to show you how to build a sample map and make your own SFZ file. And I have two different ways of showing you. One is for a mapped where it plays across the keyboard, and another is for drums, where it's just every note is a drum sample, because we all have a billion drum samples, and it's cool to put them in Unify and then go crazy and have fun with MIDI box and all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to close this up for the time being. We'll come back there. You need to go to this website, bjornbar.de, And if you scroll down here, you'll see that there are 3 applications he's made. He made audio and sample CDs for the magazines that included a CD-ROM back in the day. And he made his own tools, which are really good tools for doing that. And so he created Sample Mapper, which is what you use to make a map and save it as an SFC file. And there's also this one here that is called Session to Wave, which can take a long file with a whole bunch of different samples and spit them out as individual samples if you want to use that for making a sample map. And then this is a wonderful free looping program. Endless Wave is truly incredible. It's one of my favorite sample loopers. The only one that is actually better to me is one that's no longer available that was made by Redmatica back in the day. I still have that on a computer downstairs, but with this software, I don't have to go down there and loop samples. I can loop here. There's 5 different crossfade types, and the last 2 on the right, the special one, it's awesome, awesome. So get those tools, and then you want to come over here and run Sample Mapper, which is right here. So here, let me show you drums first. I'm going to select all of these samples and their WAV files. I'm going to drag them over the map of Sample Mapper and let up, and it brings up this little import window. And I'm going to say load root key from file, and I want to start at 36. That's MIDI note C1. It's on a 5-octave keyboard. It's the bottom C right here. But the step, I'm going to change that to 1, because if you say 4, then each sample gets 4 notes. And I wish the default was 1, but it's not. And just say import, and boom, it's imported all 44 samples. We could say save SFZ. Now, before you do this, go to preferences and settings and make sure that you turn on this export as Unify format. It's experimental. It works. It's great. And then you can go over here and go save as, and you don't have to go save with samples, just save SFZ as, and then navigate to your Unify Libraries folder, to Sample Starter, into Samples, into My Sample Library, and right here where you see the synth SFZ, right? Just go right here and let's just call it drums, okay? Save. So now I can go back to GuruSampler and I can click right here and there's drums. Use MIDI box and sequence something in your DAW. There you have all your samples. All right. And you notice I'm doing this from samples on my desktop. I don't recommend doing that. Do it from your samples being, I have over here on this one hard drive. Let's see. Let's go like that. I have a sample libraries folder on an external hard drive. It's got like over 2 terabytes of samples in it. Set up where your samples are going to be and leave them there, and then do this process. But I'm doing it from the desktop just to show you the samples can be from anywhere. So let's go back to Sample Mapper and say new, and say yes, we want to do new. And this time, PluginGuru sample. These are some samples from the Cutting Edge Bass library that I did, synth bass, and from Cutting Edge Waves. Let's do the bass first. So if you drag this over, these are all the samples. One thing to point out, at the end of the name, there's a space and then the name for the assignment of what pitch it is. C1 being down on C and all the way up the keyboard. And if you do that and then drag the samples over here, instead of using the load from root key, go over here and go from the end of name, and you'll notice that this jumps to where the sample map is now in alignment with the samples. And you say import, and automatically will map them across the keyboard for you. So you go save SFC as, this was bass square unique. Let's save that. And then I'm just gonna, for fun of it, we'll just say new, say yes. Here's way too happy, this nice little bell map. The more samples you can put in, the better. If you have round robins, you can do round robins. What you do is, let's go end of name, you load the first map, and then if you have another map, you would drag the next set of samples and you drag them over the interface. And what you do, interface, and you say import to new group. And by doing that, it will stack them on top of each other in a new group. And that Unify then automatically will start now randomly going between the two samples. And you can do as many layers as you want. The other thing you can do, let me show you once we get through this. Let's go Bell, way too happy. So we go Bell, way too happy, save. So the samples are not inside of that folder, right? This is like how you would probably use this. But if you go over here to the Unify folder, to the libraries, sample starter, here they are. And if I go to Unify and I open up GuruSampler, I can go over here and I can go base. If I go over here to Bell, way too happy. Yay. So one other thing I want to show you is that this patch, when you click here, it loads a cool image. And we love to do this. We love to kind of do more of an immersive thing. And if you want to do this too, it's right here. Go up to the top of this, the sample starter, media folder. There's a folder called images. And inside of this, you put your actual images. I use 16:9 aspect ratio, so it's nice and cinematic and so forth. And so notice this is named planetarium.png. Here's the links file, and there's a little information up here about it. All you do is you put the quote for the actual name of the patch as it shows up inside of Unify. The way Unify works, the name in Unify could be different than the name on your desktop. We just make it unique like that. So make sure you have this being the name of the patch in Unify, and then a space or a couple spaces, whatever. And on the same line, quote, images / and then the name of the file that's inside of your media folder, your images folder. Okay. And by doing that, now you can put your own images in here and off you go. Okay. So I hope this helps. I wanted to just get a little, try to explain some of the things and set you up with a physical library to work with. So hope this helps. Okay. Enjoy. See you later.